You might be watching CPI or PPI or just the various inflation prints, but I have news for you. I don't think they're the most important economic number this week. I actually think that will belong to retail sales. So we'll talk about that with Taylor from Life Goal Investments, see if I am off base. Taylor, man, thanks for coming back.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me. I think I disagree to begin with. Just,
I like it.
play devil's advocate here. I think the number one thing on people's mind is inflation, but I think they have to realize that retail sales drives inflation. So you're not wrong, but I think that the number one thing people are going to look at is that CPI number, because that is the one that people can use to back into the Fed's favorite measurement of inflation, which is PCE. The market has shown an amazing ability to peg PCE once they see CPI. You'll notice everyone talks
Yeah.
about it being the Fed's favorite, but it doesn't move the market because
Yeah.
people know exactly what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's play with this because I love disagreement. I think it's healthy and respectable. I think in the inflation prints, the last, I don't know, 15 months have been the thing.
Yep.
I think with the soft jobs market, I think with a dovish Jerome Powell in the last session, with some pretty ugly retail prints. I think retail sales last month were positive, but the month before that were negative. I think there's a growing consensus that the retail consumer is tapped out, savings, credit card defaults, all of that. I I think retail sales could be the canary in the coal mine to say, you know what, the recession is here. And I think that's it, inflation, commodity, it's not the thing. Is the consumer done? Like, did you that Friday consumer sentiment number was ugly.
Yep. Yep.
Jobs
Yep. No doubt.
ugly.
I'm interested to hear. I think I know your answer to this, but I'll ask it nonetheless. What's been the earnings report that's been the most telling to you on the consumer?
Oh, Starbucks without question.
I knew it. I knew it. Because you've been telling me to watch that one for a while now.
Yeah. Starbucks has some political nonsense going on, this, that, the other, but I think Starbucks for me is always the consumer. And again, it's the worldwide consumer, right?
Right.
China, right? Yeah, you want to talk about the US being down 6% same store sales. China was down 10.
Yep.
10.
Yep.
Not
Did you
good.
see Jim Cramer with the
Oh, I
CEO?
did. I actually watched it. It's horrible. The
So
CEO talks and the stock goes down more.
I was in a team meeting, and right over my team meeting, I have CNBC on the background. I'm like, guys, hold on a second. Like, just shut up a second. You guys got to turn this on because he's pummeling the CEO right now. And Jim is usually like, he's an
Yeah.
animated guy, but he's usually relatively fair and not so aggressive. He was like, why, when I go into one of your stores to get a coffee, does it take me 22 minutes?
Yeah.
And why is it $19? He's like, tell me how we make sense of this. Tell me how this is a convenient way to get caffeine. And at the end of the day, like, yes, there is some experience to it, but guess what? When the experience is not good, or it takes too long, or it's too expensive, that next level of experience goes away, and people aren't willing to pay up the double cost.
And another one that was right behind that for me was actually Lululemon.
Yep. Yep.
Lululemon was a really interesting report because to me, Lululemon is the discretionary spender, right?
Totally. Because
No,
it's so
nobody
expensive.
needs $100 yoga pants or whatever the hell they're
Correct.
cost. And to see their big miss, that was like, holy cow. Because again, what people don't realize is I think it's like 20% of the consumer drives 80% of the discretionary spending. Maybe it's 20,
That's
60, something
probably
like
right.
that.
Yep.
Yeah, something like that. And it's like, wow, if they've stopped buying Lululemon, that's a signal. That's a signal.
Well, your point is well stated there, where you said they stopped buying Lululemon. They have continued to buy expensive Lululemon. They've been phenomenal. Like, that has been a tried and true. People have been willing to continue to spend up for that. McDonald's, on the other
Yeah.
hand, also was an interesting one, seeing the weakening of
Yeah.
the consumer. Yeah, that's typically been the trade down to
Yeah. And
McDonald's.
now they're eating at home.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
And it is. So we go to McDonald's with my family when we go down to see my in-laws. And it's like this great little treat for my girls as we get in the car. And I have noticed specifically, like, we go and get whatever we get. I don't even know what our order is, but it's like $40.
Wow.
And I've got two kids that are this big each, and my wife and I. And I'm like, what? This is McDonald's,
$40.
though. They're getting a burger, like one of those little tiny burgers, not like a Big Mac. It's $40. I'm like, this is not seemingly inexpensive to me, which is what I perceive McDonald's to be.
Yeah. So all of this is why I think retail sales is the problem. Because if retail sales comes in with a negative number, and I think expectations are positive, like 0.3 positive, I fear it's going to be a negative 1.1 or 1.2, like shockingly bad, just like last Friday's report. And that'll just scream recession. It just retail drives the economy.
So here's the question. We're in silly season, as I call it, right now,
Yeah.
where the Fed is the ultimate arbiter as to where the market goes. So if bad information comes in, does the market perceive this as, okay, cool, the Fed will be able to cut rates and the market rallies?
Exactly.
Is that what happens?
Yep.
I hate silly season. I hate silly season because
Bad
I
news
don't
is
really
good news.
know. I don't know the answer to that. Like if it comes in as a nasty number, does the market go, "Oh shit, we could actually be going into a recession here." Or is it, again, to your point, bad news is good news and they might
Party
be able to
time.
cut rates. Party it up, baby.
Yeah, that is my fear. Is this will be validation that Powell's dovish slant last meeting, the last Friday's jobs numbers, ticking up, the weekly claims last week ticking up. It'll just be validation that the recession is here and the market will go great. 3 rate cuts, 4 rate cuts.
Okay, well, what if CPI comes in hot?
Again, I think people will talk them way out of it. They'll talk shelter, they'll talk copper, they'll talk, these other things. That's why for the first time in a year, retail sales is the number over inflation. That's why I believe retail sales is the number.
Interesting.
You just went dark on me. Did we you just lose power?
I just lost apparently half the power. I don't know if something circuit went or what.
He's back. That was weird.
Here we are. I'm here.
There you go. So, do I change your opinion? Do you think retail sales might be a tick more important than
Well,
CPI?
clearly, I
PPI?
needed my opinion to be changed, right? Boom. I don't know if it's thunder and lightning outside right now. I don't know if that has something to do with it, but anyway.
There you go.
Yeah, interesting. I think your point is well stated that that retail sales will be super important. I'll still stick with the fact that I think CPI is more important because I think that's been the glaring problem. But retail
Well,
sales,
let me ask you the same question. CPI comes in hot, up a tenth, and retail sales is negative 1.2. Who wins?
CPI stagflation wins.
Yeah,
Stagflation wins. Yeah. And that's not good for most assets.
That's not good for an economy. The Fed doesn't have tools for that, man.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, this is going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch this week. I always appreciate these conversations. Taylor, where can people find you?
Yeah, find us at Life Goal Investments. We're on both Instagram and on TikTok, putting out daily stuff.
Thank you, buddy.